Good morning, afternoon, evening, gamers. So this is a video, the contents of which I've been working on for a little while, and just thought I'd make a video on it because I wanted to. As you know, this is a channel I do, just for fun. And if I feel like doing something, I will, and if I don't, then I won't. It's not always about the popular games or whatever it might be, music, etc. That's here and now, but it might be. So it really does depend, and it is quite random. I'm not doing this to be for a career. It is literally just for fun because I feel like doing it. I actually started doing this just to see if I could, to sort of break out of my comfort zone a little bit. So that's about that. Also, I've been having a lot of trouble with, so obviously behind me, the picture, and me sort of superimposed over it. A lot of people do it with green screens. I've got a green screen, and it's just, my apartment is quite small. It took up a lot of room. Then you've got to try and get the light on it just right. It doesn't work too well. And then Nvidia brought out Broadcast. And so I've been using that for a long time, and it is just very, very good. You don't need to do a lot of that. It works, pretty well. It's not perfect, obviously. But it's pretty good. But lately, it just doesn't, between Broadcast and OBS, and the camera, just, I don't know, there seems to be some sort of problems. It's working now, which took quite a few attempts, and it'll all work okay, and then I'll shut it down, and it should be that when you go back to it, everything works still. But for some reason, no, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't particularly matter. Anyway, let's get to the video, because that's what you may want to see, or you may not. So, Conan Exiles. I like this game. I've been playing it on and off for years. If you like if you like survival games, then you may like it. If you like the Conan the Barbarian sort of world from the books, you may like it. Also, I think if you like, Skyrim, The Witcher games, I think it kind of scratches that itch. Not direct comparisons, but that kind of vibe. I've played about I don't know, about 700 hours or so, over a couple of years though. Having said that, there's a lady, Anna Briella. I've been watching some of her videos. She's played like 8,000 hours. I think the game that I've played that much would be Skyrim, which is about, I don't know, 2,000. Well, that's only about 2,000 hours, maybe 2.5. No, actually, no. No, I take that back. So, she knows a lot about the game. So I've been watching a lot of her videos. They're very good. Also, so the Age of Calamitous is a mod. Been having a few problems with the mods lately. There was a brand new update called the Age of Heroes. So for those who don't know, Conan Exiles, is it yearly? I'm not sure of the update cycle, but every so often they'll have a new age. So there was the Age of War, there was the Age of Sorcery that, added magic. Was it Age of War, Age of Sorcery, Age of Heroes? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not altogether up on it. But there's definitely been Age of War, Age of Sorcery, and now there is Age of Heroes. So this added a couple of companions that you can you do their quests with them and kind of help them out, and then they become like a permanent character, a bit like the companions in the Elder Scrolls Online, which, for those of you who know me, know that I also enjoy playing that. So it has that kind of similar sort of system to it. So they added that. I think they might be adding some more in the future, possibly. And also they added what's called living settlements. So I'll explain what that is in a minute. Now, the reason why I'm showing you Conan Exiles is because I decided to build a castle. I built a castle again, but not in Minecraft this time. Not in Minecraft, so it's different. It's different. But as you know, I enjoy building castles. Those of you who don't care, fair enough. This video may not be for you, and that's okay. And for those who like castles, apart from Shadowversity, I don't know. He'd probably have some critiques about this, like it's not, the murder holes aren't enough, and like. So it vaguely resembles a castle. I more just enjoy building castles that kind of look like castles, but it's not that deep for me. But anyway, so yeah, so this is a castle. Got like a nice bridge here, and if we run around here, there's some pens up there as well. They added horses. I think there's a rhino. It used to just trot alongside you like kind of like a companion, but I think now you can ride it. So that's another thing that's different. So there's different building sets in the game. I think maybe I can show you that. We'll get rid of that head. So here are all the building. No, that's not it. So there's this. This tends to be the one you kind of start on, like tier 1, and then it goes all the way down, and you've got all these different ones: Argosian, Stormglass, Arena, which is the one I'm using. I'm using Arena, and I'm using. Where is it? It looks similar to this, but it's called Argonian. Aquilonian. Argonian. No, that's Skyrim. So I'm using Aquilonian and Arena. And there's Chiton, Numidian. Yeah, there's quite a few. I think I have all of the DLC on it. And I've got some mods running on it as well. But like I said, they've been playing up a little bit. So I decided to use Arena on the outside, because the problem with Aquilonia, the Aquilonian look, is it has that kind of Lord of the Rings. What's the big white fortress? It's gone out of my head, but. To me, I always kind of wanted to use it, but it kind of sticks out, because the problem with Conan is that there's nothing that really looks like some of these building sets, like Aquilonian one, the Argosian one. There's nothing that looks like them. The Forgotten City, which is sort of here. Is just sort of, very sort of black sort of walls, very dark, very sort of brooding. We can have a wander around, maybe. So yeah, there's nothing that really looks like that. It's night time at the moment. We'll probably wait for day to sort of see it. So I decided that to do the darker sort of stone on the outside for the for the protective walls, and then in the middle to do the palace out of this white sort of stone. Whether or not it goes, some people might not like the difference in colours. It's probably a personal choice. It's still a little too square for my liking. I mean, obviously, I don't quite have the building skill of like Lumilight, Eradication, who seems to be quite a big. I've seen a lot of videos with Conan. I think he does some other games as well, where he builds things. I'm not up to his level or Lumilight's level, and I could have followed along with one of their videos. I could have and just built their thing. But I thought, well, do I want to do that, or do I want to try and build something myself? And I think for most of us, when we start playing the game, we do just tend to do a box, because a box is easy, and with all the benches that you have in this game, because everything has its own bench. Some of them are so big as well. The map room is just ridiculous, and the Wheel of Pain, which we'll come to. If you don't know what that is. But yeah, an attempt was made. I think it came out better than I thought it was going to be. I do struggle a bit more with building things in Conan. It has some limitations that, like Minecraft, where I tend to build castles, doesn't. But then there's pros and cons between Minecraft and Conan. So yeah, that's kind of what I built. Pardon me. So if we go into here, go to settings, go to admin, and then enter creative mode. So there's a creative mode. So which is something I really like. If you just want to come in and just build something, you can, and and you can come in and out of it at any time. Or that was kind of the idea of it. Whether it always works, yeah. The game does have some issues sometimes. There are some bugs in the game, but then what game doesn't have bugs these days? And I haven't come across that many that are are game breaking necessarily. They're not necessarily, some of them, funny either. Like with some of Skyrim's, it seems to be somewhere in the middle. But I do think on the whole it's a very fun game and quite an enjoyable game. So if we just come up here, so as you can see, the surrounding architecture. This is the oasis of Neckbeard or Neckit, something like that. What's it actually called? The Oasis of Neckhead. I was close. The Oasis of Neckhead. So we're kind of here. And there's all of these places around here. So yeah, so as you can see, like the surrounding sort of architecture is just really, really quite dark. So building this bright white, sort of palace, I just felt like it was going to just really, really stick out. But then they did it in Lord of the Rings, so I mean, but yeah, so I decided to go with this two-tone. So, you know, so here we have the towers. This is the bar for the for the soldiers. Just come in here, get a few drinks. I think you can only get one barkeep though. You have to go out into the world and find them. The first playthrough I had to reset because of the it took me a while to find one, and then once I had a barkeep, then the cages were always empty. So I don't know if you just get one and then that's it. I really don't know too much about this update and what is supposed to happen and what's not. The AI path or the pathing is not bad, but sometimes they do get stuck. Sometimes on randomly nothing. So, but yeah. So this is, you know, a little bar for the, you know, for the troops. There's you know, there's more. This is a quiet area, you know. So they just walk around. Yeah, a few more chairs. I had to try and make it as well so that you can sit down, but you can also get up. Although, if you can only have one barkeep, I'm probably gonna use it in the bigger bar. So yeah, so that's that. We have guards on, you know, watching out for trouble. Weapons racks, and you know, pretty much things that you would typically see. There's beds in all of the towers, you know, for the troops. At the moment, so worker thralls can interact with beds, and they eat. So they need, you know, they eat and they, you know, they sleep and they walk around and that. But soldiers, or you know, guarding thralls or fighter thralls, don't seem to do anything, which is, I'm not sure why exactly, but they don't. So that's it. So here I thought Shadowversity, if I get any points from Shadowversity, it might be this bit here. So this is the drawbridge. This was always something I really wanted with Minecraft, for them to add it into the game. There was a mod at one point, but then it went out of date and, like, you know, no longer works as far as I know, unless you go onto a really old version of Minecraft. As far as I know, unless somebody's made like a new one. It was pretty good, but yeah, this is in the base game. And then, but up here you've got boiling pitch, which you can use. You can just rain down arrows. You know, I would say that this is as good of a sort of kill area as you can. Come in here. Some waterfalls. I notice sometimes I get like this kind of like purple, like sort of purple colour if I go through doors, like before things pop in, there's this like purple colour. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's being caused by a mod. I don't know if it's base. I don't know what it is. I don't remember seeing it before the update, but then that I didn't have mods then either. So I don't know what it is. If anybody has who plays the game and enjoys the game, because it is quite a fun game. But if anybody has, you know, any ideas on that, what it is, I would love to know. Just you know, for my own peace of mind sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, did I see that or didn't I? But yeah, so we've got some nice waterfalls here. So this is basically a space whereby if you came here on business, but nobody was actually expecting you, you know, you're not getting seen. You're just going to sit here and you're just going to get left here until you just like, you know, you get it into your head that you're not being seen. And then you just leave. So we come through here. It is a very unusual build. I don't know what they're doing, but okay. Got the towers here, so it's kind of, you know, sort of separate. And I did this again. I thought Shadowversity I might get like half a point or a point maybe, in that tried to keep this quite narrow so that you know, so that basically this is single file. So if you're trying to, you know, siege this place, it's going to be easy for, you know, the people defending. Although if you've gotten through that bit, it's probably not going well. And also, unfortunately, I mean, you could fire from there really, but this was probably unnecessary. But when I build things, I sometimes forget things, and yeah, things might have got added. I think I was trying to make it look less boxy as well. So, you know, an attempt was made again. Come up here.
Everything adds up.
So this is where you would sit if you know, if you're actually going to be called. So, you know, try to, you know, support the roofs and that.
It's such a pretty sight. Tidy books and coffers,
some chess, which I can't actually play. So up here, yeah. So this is where the thralls will mostly be. Forges, and through here we've got bedrooms for the thralls. So their bedrooms are separate to the fighter thralls, even though the fighter thralls don't actually interact with beds or food or anything at the moment. I mean, I don't know what else you know, Funcom are going to do. Maybe they're getting around to that, so that they'll all kind of interact. Some people aren't enjoying it because I'm playing single player, so it's not that bad if they go opening the front door. But some people are finding, you know, where they're on like PvP servers, perhaps, where thralls are just like walking out the front door and just wandering off, leaving doors open, like for people to, you know, to sneak in. So yeah, so some people like it and some people don't. I think it depends how you play the game. I'm very much more of a sort of RPG story orientated type of gamer. Yeah, I like immersion, I like role play. I was on a role play server for a little while, but I didn't get I didn't get on it enough, and it shut down. So yeah, we're running around here. Some of the girls just managed to capture some named ones. So named thralls tend to be stronger than unnamed thralls, basically. Or that's how it used to work. I mean, it keeps changing all of the time, so I don't even know if that's true now. It can be hard to keep up with sometimes. And like I said, so the Age of Calamitous is a mod that kind of adds in its own story. It doesn't. It's not like a mod. It's not like a complete overhaul, because I didn't really want that. But it kind of has its own story in with Conan. So I feel like that's, you know, I can kind of work with that. And unfortunately, with the Age of Calamitous mod, there's not a lot of hand-holding in Conan anyway.
1,700 and... 1,700
I
and...
don't think this guy... there was a mod to silence him, but it's out of date. It can wear on your nerves a little bit after a while. So yeah, it kind of adds a story within a story. There are different factions and quests, but what you actually have to do, that's not a lot, not really a lot of help. Also, I went through portals and just got absolutely mauled by people on the other side. It seemed quite overpowered and kind of unfair. So I didn't really understand that. So what I'm basically saying is there's a lot about it I don't really understand. So basically I went and built a castle in the meantime, and I'll just try and figure it out over time. That's why I've got elf ears, because one of the factions was elves. I like elves, so I kind of went with that. So, but this is where you build everything. You know, your iron and your steel. In here you've got your hardened steel, and, iron bars and such like. Actually have this Earthstone, like in World of Warcraft, and it will teleport you home. There is a teleport system in Conan, but it's it's okay, but it's not amazing, and it only seems to be a one-way system. So I'll show you the map room in a minute, and you can basically click on an area that you want to go to, and you go there. But as far as I know, unless I'm wrong, you can't use the waypoints to come back again. So I added this mod just to make it a little bit easier. So here we've got the armory bench,
but we can always add more to the
all your different armors and such. Yeah, so all your different needs. Yeah. So yeah, I like the way the tile sets, the building set looks, but it's just it doesn't really go with anything else in the Exiled Lands, really. There is also a DLC, so it's another map made by Funcom, the Isle of Siptaf. I haven't gone on that one yet. I'm still kind of learning, like this one, to be honest. Like it's, as you can see, it's a really big area, and Siptaf is probably 90% the size of this. So again, it's another really big DLC expansion map. The only thing I don't like about the Isle of Siptaf is you can't go from this map to the Isle of Siptaf map. You would have to log off, log in onto Siptaf and make a whole new character, which I don't really understand. Like, I don't know why they couldn't have just stuck it on so you can go from this land into this land. So once you get to the end goal, like, I won't tell you what that is, I don't want to spoil it for you, but basically the plot of Conan Exiles is you're imprisoned and you have to escape. So what I felt like they could have done with Siptaf is once you get to the end and you figure out how to free yourself, and you free yourself, you could then walk into the Isle of Siptaf, maybe, and then just carry on your adventure. I think that would have been quite good, but, I'm not a game developer, and they had their own vision.
Tidy books and coffers.
Funcom definitely seemed to be that developer. Funcom, I'm not sure if it's maybe a bit of a joke. Sometimes they come across to me as, we're doing it our way, and if you don't like it, you know,
A fine
go away.
harvest of riches.
You know,
Very fine indeed.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's kind of the feeling I get from them. But anyway, but I still like the game that they made, and it's a fun game. So yeah, this is where all the worker thralls are made, will be, and this is where you make everything. You know, weapons, armor, full disclosure. Just to be real with people. I made this all in creative mode, and I gave myself, the tier 4 benches and that. But I have played, like 700 hours of this game. I've made it all myself. I'm on a single player, server, not hurting anybody. Yes, I do cheat, but I'm not cheating anybody. I'm only cheating myself. And the nature of some of these games, that they can be quite grindy. I think that developers think that we like grind.
Yes, the books are balanced.
And maybe some people do. I don't mind a little bit, but I sometimes feel that a lot of these games are more grindy than maybe they need to be, or more grindy than I have time for or patience for. Maybe that's what it comes down to.
1,700 and
so yeah,
1,700 and
full disclosure. I will play my game the way that I want to, but I would never do it, if I was on a public server. Obviously, I do not condone cheating when playing with other people. I'm playing by myself. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So just putting that out there, some people, also I've got a couple of videos coming up talking about that very subject of how wild people can be, and just how upset they get about things that really aren't always that deep or important. So yeah, so we got the bedrooms, we got all the workbenches, and that's up here. We have the main bar. So the idea of the bar, I think it was introduced in, Age of Sorcery. I think. So what this allows, when you get yourself a barkeep, you have to go out into the world and find one, and it can take a while. Also lately I've been seeing a lot of the cages out in the world just empty, so I don't know if Funcom is working on something or something, I don't know. But once you get a barkeep, so what will happen is, how the thrall system works is generally how to be delicate about this, because we live in an age where there are some topics that are...
check them again.
Yeah. Out in the world, when you can find, thralls, NPCs wandering around, you can recruit them by bonking them over the head till they're unconscious, then roping them and taking them back to your base, and then you put them onto the Wheel of Pain. If you've ever watched the Conan movies, you might know what that looks like. I don't know if I can build up here. Right, so I'll remove this in a minute. So obviously you put your thrall on this wheel, and it breaks them. It breaks them mentally, and then they're your helper. I was gonna say. Yeah. So that was the way of doing it up until recently. With the bar system, basically NPCs will come here and they'll hang out, and then they'll hang out here, and if you want to hire them, then you can you can pay gold and hire them. So it's a different method of obtaining workers for workers and warriors to protect your castle, home base, and you might be thinking, well, why do you need the thralls?
Such a pretty sight.
So what they
Tidy
do
books and coffers.
is up here they add certain bonuses. So crafting speed times 2. So that's what this alchemist does. I think she's named thrall. So basically, named thralls are tier 4. Are tier 4 thralls. Some of these I actually went out and captured, and some of them I did just spawn in. So again, just being open and honest with you guys. So yeah, so that's what they do. They give you certain bonuses, particularly speeding up the process of making things, because everything has a timer to it. It takes, it can take so long. So layered. So here, we've got 25 gossamer, which comes from the spiders. The spiders in this game, oh, I really don't like them. Like Funcom did not have to go that hard with making spiders. They are just, ugh. I do not like going in the caves, and it's dark, and they make that skittering noise. It's not good. If you have arachnophobia, like I do, it's not a fun time. And I haven't seen any mods that turn them into something else. There might be. I'm not saying that there isn't. I haven't seen any. So here we've got the gossamer, and we can turn it into silk. So craft 12, and as you, that went pretty fast. But again, we have Dalina the Shielded on here, and she's giving us crafting speed of 2.5. So it just speeds things up. On the armorer bench, I don't have an armorer yet. I'm looking for one, but yeah. But so particularly if I had an armorer thrall, they might add attributes to the weapons and to the armor. Some of these are DLC. Is a DLC called High Main. So that's what some of that is. Some of it as well will be the Calamitous mod. I think that adds armors and weapons as well. So definitely thralls are very much desired. They add to speed times. They can add attributes to things that you make. So yeah, they are very much desired. And as you can see, but before the update, before Age of Heroes, they would just kind of work here and that was it. They were just very much static. They would just work, and that was it. Now that they walk around, they eat food, they sleep, and it just gives them. It just gives a bit more life to to the world. As I said, for some people like me, I like that. I'm playing on a single player server, so it can get a bit lonely sometimes. So it feels. None of my friends particularly like the game for various reasons. So it makes the world, and for RPG elements and for
the books,
stories. I kind of like it, but as I said, depending on what server you're on, if you're on a PvP server and the trolls are leaving the front door open, I can see how that could be a problem. So some people have sort of disabled it, So so that's the bar and the the workers sort of area. Through here is leads to the ramparts and that.
Such a pretty sight. Tidy books and coffers.
And then here, as you can see, is the throne room. And these are bedrooms as well. So the castle has like a lot of bedrooms. I always found with like when you bought like a mansion in Elder Scrolls Online, or there's some other games where you have this big building, and then when you go in it, it's got like 2 bedrooms, and you're just like, huh? And there's so much wasted space. I've never really understood that kind of mentality. I would expect a mansion to have quite a lot of bedrooms. But maybe that's just me. So we have guest bedrooms up here. Obviously, you have the throne room down there. I do love these floor tiles, and the good thing about these floor tiles is it doesn't matter how you put them down. You've got like wood flooring, and you very much have to like make sure that it that the lines match. Otherwise people get a bit triggered, which is fine until the game decides to sort of mess up a bit and decides that it doesn't want to put it that way. It wants to put it that way, and I like this because you can just pop it down and it's fine. So some more guards. These now this is from a mod. Basically, you saw how big a lot of the workbenches were. On some servers, like the one I was on, Forbidden Shadows, I think it was called. It wasn't that long ago. I don't know why I can't remember. Unfortunately, the benches, they take up a lot of time. They take up a lot of space, but they also, they have quite an impact on the server. And so basically somebody made a mod where most of the workbenches are made a lot smaller. And this, believe it or not, is a wheel of pain. So you saw the little wheel of pain that I put down, which is one person. There's one that you can get that holds 5 thralls at once, I think. So this lady is basically that. You just pop the thrall in here. You put some food in. It's supposed to be gruel, which is made using some beans and water. But for some reason, I don't know if the Age of Calamitous has changed the recipe. I couldn't work out how to make it, so I just stuck some meat in here. And Also, food deteriorator goes off.
Yes,
So that
yes, the books
that you
are
saw me
balanced.
throwing out
Some
was
collected,
mouldy.
everything
Moldy
adds up.
food, basically. So
Better
yeah,
check
you
them
pop the
again.
thrall in here, and it works exactly the same as a Wheel of Pain. It just takes up a lot less space because they are massive, and obviously this is a big castle, like sure, but still, you don't always understand until you put something down, like how large it is, and so I much more, you know, that's okay. So yeah, this is the banker
1,700
who
and
just
1,700 and rat.
after a while it really grates. I wish there was a way to... Is there a way to...
Do you have more to add to the
Why
coffers?
they couldn't
More
just add
is
in here
always better.
a way to just... Is there maybe? No, that's stack size. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Again, though, no, I think this is from the base game, actually. So what this is basically you pop all your money in here, your gold and your jewels and stuff. So you pop this all in. Then
Have you
we
come
click
for
on
the
him.
latest total?
So here we've got 6,288.6 gold, silver, wealth. And here, if you see, it says threat level 3. So what that is there's something called the Purge. Now, the Purge used to be just like a random event, and it would just come along, and a load of, like, NPCs would attack your base, and you just have to try and survive. They then took that away and kind of reworked it, but because it was a bit...
Impressive.
It was a
But
bit
we
all
can
over the
always
place.
add more to the pile.
Apparently. I've not really done it. So now it's an opt-in system. So you don't have to do it, but you can if you want to. And I think giving people that choice is kind of better. So yeah, it's a threat level 3. So basically it goes from threat 1 to threat 10, I think. I've not actually done it yet. I think I would maybe like to at some point, but that's a long way off. So depending on how much money in here you've got, depends on the level of threat. So 6,000 gold is, you know, a threat level of 3. And obviously, you know, threat level 1, 2, 3, not going to be too bad. You're probably going to survive. And then obviously it ramps up in difficulty. And what it is they want to get to your gold.
A fine
And
harvest
once they
of
get to
riches.
this guy and
Very
take your
fine
gold,
indeed.
then the purge will be over. So their job is to get at your gold. Your job is to keep them out, and that's how it works. So what you can do to trigger it is you proclaim your wealth, and that will start the siege. I think there's videos on YouTube if you want to see it in action.
Yes,
I'm not ready
yes,
for
the
any
books
of that yet.
are balanced. Some's collected.
So yeah, so that's a
everything
banker.
adds up.
We have dancers here.
Better
So
check them again.
out in the world, particularly, you remember I was saying about fast travel. So fast travel, there are these waypoints that you attune your bracelet to. So there's a bracelet on your wrist. That bracelet is basically makes you a prisoner in these lands. There is something called the ghost fence or the boundary, and basically you cannot pass that with the
Such a
bracelet
pretty
on your
sight.
wrist.
Tidy
And you have to
books and
find a way
coffers,
to
gravid with glittering gold.
take that bracelet off and free yourself from the exiled lands. Hence Conan Exiles, exiled lands. So, you know, that's the premise of the story. So but your bracelet...
1,700 and... Drat!
He's so annoying. I could just put the gold in a chest, to be honest, but...
Yes,
So-
yes, the books are balanced. Sums collected, everything adds up. Better check them again.
It makes me think as well that one day I'm going to come in here and just find him, like, having passionate love-making to the treasure. It has that kind of vibe to it, you know? So yeah, your bracelet, you can use it to attune yourself to these waystones, you know, around the map. So there's one up there, the Mounds of the Dead. There's one in the city. You know, they're basically spaced out. There's one near me actually, Kale's. I don't think that's how you say it, Kale. Stronghold. So there's one near there.
A fine
but
harvest of riches.
they
Very fine indeed.
They give you corruption, and the only way to... So the corruption basically takes away your health and your vitality. So if I exit creative mode, so as you can see up the top there, you have the red bar and the yellow bar. You also have food and hunger, you know, like in most survival games. Number 2 is my water. Number 1 is my food. So these dancers basically take away the corruption from you. So the dancers are, you know, very important. Here we have the Queen, Ranger Commander Kira. This lady was doing juggling, so it seemed kind of cool.
Impressive.
The gold
But we
bikini
can
was
always
just...
add more to the pile.
I don't know. I was able to make it, so I made it as for a laugh, and I just stuck it on her and was like, okay. This lady, I don't know. I think I actually just went into admin and popped these guys in. I think what I was doing is I had a mod with like different outfits, and I wanted some thralls to like just put stuff on. So yeah, so that's all of that, you know. And you've got the thrones. In here you've got all the storage area. So just trying to, you know, save everything. Got a dismantling bench, which could, you know, can come in really useful. So you know, you pick up stuff that's not particularly useful, you put it in here and gain resources back. So that's really good. Also as well, in build mode now, if you build something and then you decide you don't like it, when you use the hammer, so this the construction hammer, when you use that to break things down, you get the resources back, which you didn't always. So that's a nice sort of quality of life type thing. I do like these statues behind the throne. I feel like it's one of the few things I feel like I did get.
Gravid with glittering gold.
Did get right. So yeah, so this is the main throne room. I think. I've got the fermenting barrels started, but I need a lot more. I need to get some honey, get some bee farms going and some other things. So here's a little kitchen, you know, just tucked out the way, and some fridges. I did actually go into admin and get these, because before you have the fridges, it's really difficult to keep your
A
food
fine
from
harvest
going
of
off.
riches.
Even in
Very
these,
fine
they still go
indeed.
off, but it's like there, so you spoil food. But it does take a lot. It does take a lot longer with the fridges as opposed to not having them. What you can do is there are thrall pots that you can put down. You can put the food into the thrall pot, and that will act kind of like a fridge. But I'm on single player, so I was just like, you know, I can do it if I want to. But obviously, if you're on a public server, definitely don't do that. If you're playing multiplayer, like if my friends decided to jump on, I would have to say to them, you know, look, you know, I've got this, and this, and you know, then they would decide, no, I'm not happy with that, or, yep, okay. Just basically so that everybody is, you know, is on the level playing field, and you know, nobody feels.
1,700 and
So, yeah.
1,700 and right.
So we go up here, another little room with some storage. Nothing major really. We saw the balcony. You can look down and listen in on, you know, meetings of state. Bedrooms for, you know, visitors through that door up there leads to the, you know, to the
Fine harvest of riches.
the work
Very
quarters.
fine indeed.
Then floor 3, I tried to label things, like, you know, like put signs on the walls, because yeah, when you build something this big, even I tend to get lost, and it's kind of like, oh shit, I'm lost in my own building. It's a little bit awkward. So this is what I was talking about. This is the map room. So you go to the unnamed city, and I think you go to the archives, and you can learn this. But
Tidy
look
books
how
and coffers.
look how stupidly big it is crazy. There was a mod, because this one isn't actually incorporated into the mod that gives you smaller workstations, and as you saw, the wheels of pain that are like people. Doesn't incorporate this, or the bigger. Well, I suppose the wheel of pain, but it doesn't. There was a separate mod that made this a lot smaller, but it's out of date, and adding it is just going to give you a headache. So yeah, so like here, not sure why. So
Yes,
some of
yes,
these I
the
should
books
have.
are balanced. Sums collected. Everything adds up. Better check them again.
Like I said, I have been having a few issues. I don't know. I don't know if it's a mod. I don't know if it's. I'm never entirely sure whether. I tried to look it up. Whether Conan has its own system. Like it puts the mods
Impressive.
into the right order for you, or whether you have to do it. I don't know. That there's. Yeah, I've been having some problems. But yeah, I don't know why it's not.
Yes, the books are balanced. Sums collected.
So
everything
I
adds
did
up.
have. This should be working,
Better
but
check
it's
them
not.
again.
So I don't know, but that's a map room. So you go up to one of these, and it would teleport you to basically to a part of the map. Basically, this represents, you know, this. So, but it's not working. So I. And then up here we have. So there are different religions in the game. There is Yog, which is like sort of tribal type faction. There's, you there's some different factions. I think they're based on real-world geographical areas. There's the Stygians, I think it's Stygians, and they kind of have like an Egyptian theme to them. So they're pretty cool. Anyway, so this is our religion. This is Diketo, I think. And basically, it's kind of like a dual nature god. So births and deaths. So, bountiful harvest, healthy births, babies and, animal births. So there's that side. And then there's the side of, death and decay. So, yeah, she's very much like a sort of dual-faced god, I guess. There's also orgies, which sounds good, but then there's also necrophilia and stuff, so, it gets a bit wild, but I like the kind of Egyptian kind of aspect to it. I like the sort of Egypt kind of look. And to be honest, all of the others, I mean, Yog is cannibalism. So, there's another one. There's a snake one. And they're all, they all have their pros and cons. They're both terrible, but kind of good at the same time. It's pick your poison, really. So, yeah. These girls, I don't actually have any priests of Diketo at the moment, so I just stuck them there, really. And I feel like they kind of fit the narrative. Also, this is sorcery. I don't really know how sorcery works exactly. I really need to figure it out and, learn it. You can. So if we go into here, so you have, so you get points. It usually only goes up to level 60, but I have another mod on which allows you to go to 120, I think. So not going to be for everybody. It's probably going to make massively overpowered or something. But it allows you to be able to build almost anything, but there are other ways of doing that anyway. So yeah, we have all the stuff here. So you get your point. You get so many points for every level, and you pick the things that you want to unlock. Some of this is not the base game, but is High Main's Arsenal or Calamitous. So lots of different things, There's all sorts. So here is like the the smaller stations. Yeah. So if you're on a server whereby you have to keep the lag down, these are probably going to be much better. But to be honest, depending on what type of base you want to build, they can work for a single player game as well. And here you have attributes. So these are all your attributes. I always put mine into Beast of Burden when over encumbered. You can dodge and move at full speed. I always put it on that one because I always find in these games I'm a loot goblin. I like looting. I have to loot everything. It's a sickness at this point, really. So I always put all my points into that. Normally, again, you only get 60 points. You wouldn't normally be able to max all of these out, but again, I have another mod so I probably will be able to. So again, depending on your play style and how you want to play, that might be too overpowered for you, so you might not want some of this. But that's not really relevant to this anyway. But what you can do with sorcery is you can corrupt some of this. So like here, vitality, you get fierce vitality, you gain passive health regeneration. Well, through sorcery, you can make that much stronger, but you gain corruption. And what the corruption does is it takes away the amount of available health you have and the amount of available stamina. Now, health you can sort of get around. You can make health potions. You can sort of get around that one. I feel like the more important one is stamina. You use stamina in this game for everything. You can climb up things. You use it in fights. It's a very important resource, stamina, and I feel like depending on the amount of corruption could be a problem. So yeah, so I really need to learn sorcery. I also got myself a sorcery lady. So yeah, and also this thaumaturgy bench, I think that's how you say it. Thaumaturgy? This thaumaturgy bench also allows you to transmog. So what I'm wearing isn't actually what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing is actually something, the Champions kit, which is a very, very strong armor set. But I've transmogrified it to look like something else. So yeah, here's the thrall pot where you can. So these pots aren't really used most of the time. They're only going to be used generally when you have a purge on, so that your thralls can come here, they can eat, and the heat, the food is used to replenish their health, or give them more, more hitting power, more strength, things like that. So, but most of the time, you don't really need to use them. I actually put this here because I was having a problem with the thralls in like where I could put them. But so yeah, but that's basically that. Then we come up here. Yeah, so you've got all of that down here. This is my bedroom. Nothing too wild, and a dancer for the corruption. She had no top on, so I couldn't go in there. I forgot to put a top on there. Forgot. So there is nudity in this game. Obviously, if you're playing it by yourself, you can play it how you want to. Some people have a problem with it, but you don't have to have it. You can turn it on or turn it off. Oh, there's a sandstorm coming. Oh shoot, which helmet is it? This one, I think. Yep, that one's sandstorm. Pretty cool helmet as well, don't you think? This is it's one I got from Kale's Fortress. It's a really good drop, so it gives you sandstone protection. I do think the storm is pretty awesome. Look at that. It reminds me of, if anybody remembers the Mummy films, and there was one of the Mummy films, I think the first one, where the sand was coming towards him and it had like a face in it. Funcom could have so done something like that. That would have been pretty cool. Just have a face in it, like that would have been pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't wear this helmet, you will take damage. Sandstorms they can be pretty brutal. At lower levels they can kill you. So yeah, unless you take a shelter. So if you see a cave or something, just run in it and then get killed by spiders. But sandstorm, spiders, you know. It's a pretty brutal game. You die a lot, like such a lot. Kind of like a whirlwind. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive when you're not in it and dying, of course. It's a bit like snow, you know. It's great if you're indoors watching it with, you know, with a cup of coffee or tea. Not so great when you're out in it. Over there is Sepemeru, I think it's called. And it's basically just a city for the relic hunters. You'll see Conan there. Conan at the start, you know, he frees you, and then later on you can see him here in the city. I don't want to, you know, say too much in case I'm spoiling things. I don't want to do that if I can help it. Yep. So this is the upstairs terrace, and now it's like nothing ever happened. You can take that off again. A ritual mask used by Yogite warriors, light tolerant. Health 40. Okay. It looks like you've been out in the sun too long. So yeah, this is, you know, this is what I built. It's not, you know, it's not amazing. I'm still learning. Like I said, there are some complexities of building in Conan that I've yet to figure out. And like I said, yeah, it's still a little more boxy than I would have liked. I would have liked to have broken it up a little bit more, but yeah, I am still learning. And sort of figuring out ways. I watch, you know, like Lumi Light, and I watch Eradication, and some others. I've watched them build things, but for some reason, whenever I go to build something, it kind of comes out, you know, kind of boxy, yeah. But you know, I tried to break it up a little bit. You know, I tried to do my best. You know, it's not perfect, but there's always going to be a learning curve with everything. I do like the roof. I think the roof, it gives me like, you know, the pyramids, kind of an Egyptian feel, which I kind of actually really like. It's one of the better parts. I think the roof and the outer walls, I'm the most proud of them. I just think I built all of the outside. I tend to build out from the outside in, when I think most people might sort of tackle something like this and build it inside out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what other people's methods are. I think probably a lot of people, you know, probably draw it and sketch their ideas first. I tend to just kind of wing it, and it shows. Yeah, I tend to wing it a little bit, but you know, I had a lot of fun making it. It took me about a weekend to build. Yeah, I would have liked it if it was just a bit less boxy. I think that kind of lets it down a little bit, but I don't know. It's not. The problem is that, like I said, you've got a lot of, like, the map room. Like, the map room is just really, really big, so you're trying to think about that whilst you're building something, and, you know, that big thing tends to go well with a box shape. Not making excuses, but I'm saying, you know, it kind of works better, but, you know, I definitely learned some things. That door's off-centre, which I'm not that happy with. Would have liked it to have been a bit more centre. Yeah, there's lots of, like, little things that sort of bother me a little bit. I could maybe, as well as the Aquilonian, I could maybe have used the I keep trying to say Argonian, the Argosian tile set as well, maybe, to break it up, because the building bricks are they're fairly simple. So you have this on the outside, you know, and then you have that on the inside, and that's it, inside and outside, and that's. So I feel like I could have used Argosian, which has. Let's see. Building pieces. Some of these are from the Calamitous Age mod. I wouldn't particularly build a base out of them, just in case. If I decide that I don't like the mod, and at the moment I'm kind of 50-50. It's a bit vague in what I'm supposed to be doing. I know people don't like hand holding, but I think you have to have some direction to be, like, I don't know, it's a balance in that, I suppose. But I wouldn't use these just in case, because then my whole base would be gone, it would just fall apart. So, yeah, so Aquilonian Arena I built with, but Argosian, which was underneath, so, you know, you've got different, so it's a similar colour. I mean, it looks a little, it has some difference, so maybe I could have broken up the textures a little bit, so, I don't know. The windows look, you know, look kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I did my best. I definitely think, you know, some parts of it could have been better, but I'm still learning, still trying things. Do need to find a way to get out of the box kind of trap of, you know. But certainly in terms of usability and practicality, you know, it definitely has a lot more of that. Like I've seen some of the, you know, the Lumi light, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but I saw some of them on Minecraft, and like they looked impressive, but sometimes on the inside they would be, you know, kind of bare or kind of a bit hollow, which, you know, depending on your needs is fine. But I think in Conan you tend to need more practicality, I guess. So yeah, I feel like I could do with some flags. Also in the Age of Calamity mod, I don't know if you saw it, but there's a big ass dragon that flies around. I don't know if he attacks people or anything. I'm not entirely sure. There's Sepamaru. Sepamaru is good for recruiting thralls. I've got a few named ones in the city. Sometimes they have a problem with you, you know, dragging an unconscious person behind you, and sometimes they really don't. It just depends on the mood, you know. Also, in the city, there's a group of bandits. If they attack you and you defend yourself, the guards will attack you if they see you attacking. It's very strange. So yeah, we just haven't. It's a really nice looking world. I think I really like how it looks and sort of how it feels. And there are lore stones around the world. Obviously, this video is more geared towards people who maybe don't know what the game is, obviously, than for the people that do. But I will say that, you know, for as long as I've played the game, there are still lots of things that I keep finding out by watching videos like Anna Briella's Eradications. That there's another guy, Whack, something there, but you can call me Whack. He has some really good videos as well, and they still teach me things that, you know, I didn't know, because it is such a big game. I feel like there's always like a few secrets that, you know, you may not know. You also have like boss creatures in the world. So there's this one. If you fight it and defeat it, some of them have a lot of health, because obviously this game was designed to be multiplayer. There's you can play it single player, obviously, but single player, co-op, and online, you know, servers with, you know, a lot of people, almost kind of MMO sort of energy. So these games were designed to be, you know, be tackled, these bosses to be tackled by quite a few players. So when just you are trying to tackle something, you know, and it has a lot of health, and you're kind of like, wow, this seems a bit unfair, it's because the developers didn't really have single player in mind. I even wonder whether they added that in later, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't here for the launch of the game. I came across it a few years ago, as you do. You know, I saw it and thought, oh, this kind of looks interesting. And yeah, I have a sort of love-hate relationship with it sometimes. Now, all of these trees here. Now, generally, the unnamed city doesn't have any trees in it at all. This is the Calamitous mod, I believe. It's just all desert. Just this area is just desert. As you can see, look, it's just all desert. And this would normally be desert. However, this greenery mixed in with the desert, I won't spoil the lore for you, but if you know the lore, or you find out about the lore, if you decide you like the look of this game, it actually ties in quite well. So this city was once, you know, green and lush and fertile, like all of these lands were, you know, fertile, like they are, you know, sort of around here. But then something happened, we won't spoil it, and it just became barren. So this actually, I feel like from a lore perspective, this actually kind of fits. Yeah, there's still lots and lots of sand, but you've just got some of this greenery as well. I kind of like it. And in here, very dangerous, particularly early. Early levels, I wouldn't, maybe come here. Then again, it depends on your level. Some people are just, extremely good gamers. I'm not really. Big ass dragon down there, look. But they're very different to the dragon that's flying around in the air, added by the Calamitous mod. don't have any wings or anything, you know. So yeah, so the you know, this place is pretty dangerous, and a lot of these.
For life is nigh.
Yeah, some of this is some of this is the Calamitous mod. So yeah, it's yeah. So I mean, this place was quite dangerous to come to before. But with the Calamitous mod, it's you know, it's even worse because the balancing, yeah. So yeah. But as you can see, like, you know, it's very dark stone. I don't know whether this stone was always dark, or, you know, whether it had a different colour. I mean, you can see here it's more a kind of copper colour. So it may have been more of like a copper sort of colour once upon a time. But now it's just, oh, I'll have that. Why not? How I would have known that was up here, or how to climb up here. See, that's the thing about this mod. It's like, I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on it. I'm just gonna kind of, I think, just look at it as extra content maybe at some point. I've got a few side quests there. The Servants of Zephyr. Enemy forces. Yeah, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, quite a dark, sort of desolate place, and so, which is why I never really used the sort of the white building set of Aquilonia and Argosian, because it didn't feel like it fits with like any other buildings, and it just kind of stuck out. So I used Arena to kind of have that, to have it kind of fit in more, at least from the outside, and then on the inside you've just got this, you know, sort of Lord of the Rings type aesthetic. It's a really nice area as well for building. I really like it. There's quite a lot of resources down here. There's a lot of iron. There's meats from the kind of turtle animal things. I don't know what they are. Obviously water. You know, yeah. There's plenty of water. You're not far from the city. Kale's stronghold, which has some of the best armor in the game. So you're near to that. You're near to Shattered Springs. You'll need a mask for that, because it's toxic and will kill you. But that's where you get a resource for making bricks, hardened bricks, I think. So you're near to that resource. You know, there's food, there's iron, lots and lots of iron and coal as well. You've got the city. There's lots of bosses in there with the, you know, with some of these epic armor and weapons. Maudlin and Masushi, the Black Blade. So yeah, so obviously you're going to want to go in there at some point, because defeating the bosses in there, yeah, will get you some really nice weapons and armor, as well as the archives for the map room. So, you know, there's lots of things like that. And obviously then you've got this area, and eventually you'll want to go into the cold areas, and into the volcano. So I feel like you're, you know, it's a good spot for quite a lot of things. The only thing I would say is when you want to go into this area, it's quite a long way this way. But you know, I used to build on this island here, which again was good for this area and was good for some of this area. But then when you want to go over this way, some of it. So wherever you build, there's going to be pros and cons. You know, that's the way most things are. So yeah, I haven't been into any of this area yet, but I have before in previous games. I know, for instance, there's a cave here. There's some other stuff. So I've played the game quite a lot. And down here is the new quest map sort of area. There is I believe I can't access it. There are some other sort of. There's one called Conan Isles, I think. I couldn't necessarily. I couldn't get it to work with this mod. I don't know if there's a compatibility issue, but it was kind of like an add-on, kind of like the Isle of Sipta, but whereas with Sipta you have to start it as like a whole new game. This one just kind of added a big area here because there's nothing in this area. It added like a whole new area here. I'm not entirely sure why they've got this big space here. I don't know whether Funcom were planning to add like an expansion here or something, or yeah, I don't exactly know. There's like a big block of space here as well, and there's like a block of space there. I don't know whether they were planning on. I mean, this bit's not quite so bad, or this bit, but I feel like that's a huge amount of wasted space. Again, I was saying about, like in ESO, you get these, you get these big like mansions and structures, and they have like 2 bedrooms in them, and you're just like. And all this like, wasted space, and you're like, really? I feel like this is kind of the same thing. And the Baccaran Isle mod filled up this, but yeah, I can't get it to work. Was it this one I couldn't get it to work with, or was the Baccaran Isle one the one here that added something over here? It might have been. And there was another one that added something here, but they wouldn't play nice with each other, something like that. Anyway, I've been sort of trying out different mods and sort of seeing what works. Even when you read their notes, and modders will always tell you whenever modding, read the description of their mods, and yes, you should. And sometimes it will tell you, okay, this mod doesn't work with this mod, and you're like, okay, cool. But unfortunately, even for modders, they don't, it can be hard to keep up with, especially if they're making these mods in their spare time. They can't always keep up with other mods that are coming out, and whether those mods might have conflicts. And that's not going to be in the notes. Nothing's going to tell you about that because maybe the modder doesn't know. So reading, I would still always say, have a read and see if there are any mods that are highlighted. But it may be that you add that in, everything's cool, everything's good, and then you add in some other mod and you check and it doesn't say anything about conflict. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. You add it in, well, F around and you find out kind of scenario. You know, so yeah, modding is absolutely wonderful, and I love that it's a thing. I love that it exists. At the same time, it can also be a headache, particularly games like this, Conan, that has updates. Whenever you get the update, it then breaks all the mods, and then everybody has to disable their mods, wait for the modders to update them. If they update them, it may be that some of your favourite mods don't get updated, in which case, you can't have them anymore. Depending on, the modders, they might have, they did it and they've moved on. Because that's the other thing with video games, we play one game for a while. I'm famous for this. I'll play this for a while, then I'll wander off and I'll play something else. It's that can be the nature of gaming. And then there are other people. They have one or two games, and that's all they play. And it's everybody plays differently. And some people are very competitive. They really like to be number one, and they like all of that. I tend to call it sweaty, but I don't know if that's necessarily fair. Being competitive isn't necessarily a bad thing, but again, you can cross that line, and then there are other people that are more casual. I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm probably leaning more towards casual than the I'm not particularly competitive. I just don't care. I just want to play games for fun. If I find that a game is stressing me out, or like I'm getting angry or frustrated, that to me doesn't seem like entertainment. It doesn't seem like fun for me. That's just how I feel. I've been at work all week. There's stresses that can come from that. Partner, children. Just want to sit down and just relax and just play something entertaining. And then I've got all this different courses for different horses. That's all. So yeah, that's it really. I built another castle. It is what it is. I like building. I know there's probably people that would be like, you could maybe build something else. Yeah, I know I should, but it's just, castles are generally the grandest thing that you can build. I have seen builds for like a pyramid. I'd maybe like to give that a go. Maybe, but I do need to work out certainly how. I need to practice a bit more in how things fit together and that. There are some complexities to Conan building, that there isn't always in Minecraft, but then Minecraft has its problems as well. Got some ballistas up here as well. There's you can also get trebuchets as well. I don't know if people use them, but they probably do, because on PvP servers, you can build castles and then siege each other's castles. There's a lot of possibilities. I've got that kind of Rust aesthetic. I've played Rust with Swift from time to time. So yeah. That's that's the castle. I built another castle. and you know, and generally had a lot of fun doing it. So, yep. So I hope you maybe enjoyed the video. You know, might be for you, might not. That's cool. Yeah, I felt like making it and making videos, so I did, and that's it. So if you if you like this, I'll see you on the next video, whatever that will be. It is random. I'm not having a gaming channel and then a music channel and then a react channel. I'm not doing that. I will just keep it all in the one place, and you can pick and choose what you do like and don't like. There are so many. You know, there are so many creators, and there are so many videos for you to watch. You're always going to find plenty from such a wide range of very, very talented people on YouTube. And whilst I don't think I would ever want to do YouTube as a job, I don't think I would want YouTube and Google as my employer. I just don't think that's something I would want. The levels of censorship are just not something I'm necessarily into. And the unwritten rules that you never know if you're breaking. There's a lot of things that I just wouldn't like. But I do always praise YouTube for giving people the opportunity to just you know, have fun and make some videos and, you know, make a career and make a living. You know, I will always give YouTube that. And also, they've introduced me to, you know, to music and to certain things that I've never seen before. I would never have got into K-pop. I would never have got into baby metal if it wasn't for YouTube. I would probably never have really come across those genres of music if not for YouTube. So I whilst there are a lot of things I'm not keen on about YouTube and Google, there are there are things that I praise them for as well. You know, I do think everything is about balance, criticism as well as praise. You know, I think those two things can go hand in hand. You can not like certain aspects of something, but you can also see the merit in something as well. I'm a very big fan of constructive criticism, or just switching off and walking away. Some things are not for you, and I'm going to get into this in another video. So we'll leave it there. Have a good day, have a good evening wherever you are in the world, and I shall see you on the next one, if that is to be the will, and if not, then I wish you well in life. Bye for now.